What's up, everybody? Armchair Quarterbacks here for another Week 6 recap. This one, we've got Mantequilla versus This Host Slaps. That's Shawn versus Alex. Taking a look here at the matchup, it looks like both have played all of their players. Shawn has won his matchup with 138.26 to 121.72. So taking a look here, Shawn started Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, Isaiah Pacheco, Raheem Mostert, Darren Waller, Kyren Williams, and Ramondre Stevenson. What did you like from your team this week?
Pretty much I liked all my guys except for Waller. Every single person scored over 10 points. A lot of them hit, or hit over their projected points, which is fine.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it was Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen that kind of had the dud. I say that funny because I've been so spoiled with scoring 40 to 50 points between the two of them for the first 4 weeks.
Right.
4 weeks plus 5 weeks. So I think the big one here, the obvious one, is Raheem Mostert with no Devon A. Chain. 34, and which is funny because he scores 34, and if you look over at Tyreek Hill, Mr. Cheetah ended up scoring 28. So it was pretty crazy that in the morning games, me and Alex were actually going back and forth.
Yeah, you guys were pretty matched.
It wasn't until the afternoon games, and I was like in the pit of despair, and out of nowhere, all the coaches just decided to, readjust at halftime.
Yeah, it's funny watching football with you because when your team is like doing super crazy, you're like ecstatic, you're jumping up and down, celebrating every play. And then it's the complete opposite when you feel like your team's not doing as good as it should. And I mean, your team did really well here. 138, I think we were talking about it earlier. The highest score before this was 142. So this is like the second highest score of the league so far. But yeah, I remember watching the afternoon game. And if you guys ever watch football with Shawn, you might see it, you might not. We'll see. It's really funny though, because Shawn will just sit there really like with a really pissed look.
Yeah,
just even really pissed. It's so funny.
It's not like, I used to be crazy with the Ducks game and the cursing.
Oh yeah.
Now it's more of a just like, oh man, the pit of despair, and man, this is just really frustrating,
Well, you still do cuss a little bit here and there, but you've kind of learned that you're aware of your surroundings, because at least today you were around the boys, so
the kiddos are gone.
Yeah, you knew the kiddos were there, so you knew you couldn't really cuss externally.
Yeah, no, it's not as bad. Even at home, it's like, it's just frustrating. Especially when you see, it's like I was telling you about Puka Nacua, you're kind of going in and out, sleeping with Parker on you.
Yeah.
And I go, I think it was Kyren Williams had 2 rush attempts in the first half for 4 yards.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And then he had 158 or 154 in the second half. They gave it to him 3 straight times on the first drive in the third quarter, and he ended up getting like 58 yards. I think it was just, and then that opened up, and it was it wasn't your boy. It was Cooper Kupp that ended up getting the touchdown.
Yes.
But the point remains, when you establish the run, it doesn't matter what style your team is.
It opens everything up.
It opens everything up. Same thing with if you can only run it and you can't pass. Now teams know to stack the box with 8, and then you're screwed.
Yep.
So it's always good to have a balanced, even if you have an identity and you're just going to go in there and punch teeth. You still want that kind of option, every once in a while. So my team was pretty balanced. It was kind of opposite, where Kyren Williams ended up saving me, and Stevenson here with the touchdown deodorant. They ended up kind of making up for this Josh Allen and this Diggs. Not
lower
bad,
scoring.
Not really great though. Yeah.
Well,
Diggs
got lucky there towards the end of the game, where he was Buffalo was really trying to with that their last couple of drives, and Josh Allen was really targeting him. Because that was
he was
his only player.
I think he had like 11 targets in the first quarter, and everyone on Reddit was like, "What the heck, dude?" He he had like 11 targets, and I think it was like 3 or 4 receptions for 50 yards.
Uh-huh.
So it's like at this pace, if he scores, if he gets 30 targets, he might have 150 yards because they're
Yeah.
like really short and not
Yeah.
really effective.
Yeah, they were definitely more check down targets.
So I mean, kudos to New York. I mean, New York came out with a really good game plan, and they kind of did what the game script has typically been in the past for neutralizing, Patrick Mahomes and
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City back when they had
Yeah.
Tyreek. So
Yeah. All right, so let's take a look here over at Alex's team. Alex started Jared Goff, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Sam Laporta, Alexander Madison, and Zay Flowers. So besides DK Metcalf underproducing, what did you like with Alex's team here?
like with so Jared Goff right here, he's been really solid. Um was it Azer? I think Azer's been kind of low on Jared Goff, saying that
Mm-hmm.
like he never scores over 30 points. It's always the 20.
Yes.
Which for me, I have no problem with 20. If you could stay in that range of 20 to 25 points consistently as quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty safe, especially with Alex having Anthony Richardson out for, I'm thinking at least 8 weeks,
Yeah.
if not the season.
Yeah.
So that's a really, really solid fill-in on short notice. Tyreek Hill right here. This dude is just gonna get his no matter what. Like he went out with cramps, the leg cramps. He went into the locker room, and we thought he was done. And you go out there, you probably get an IV, drink a whole bunch of fluids, and then they popped him back out. And look at that, he scored like another 10 plus points.
Yep.
I will say this: the London game, I did wake up early to watch that, and I will tell you, my cheeks were pretty clenched on Derrick Henry here,
Mm-hmm.
and Zay Flowers in the same game because my Sunday morning hadn't even started yet, and I see these guys combined for almost 34 points, and it's like, whoa! Now I got to make that up. That's a pretty big hole to be in to start off. Especially when you're thinking I had Cooper, my choice of Higgins, Tyler Boyd, or Amari Cooper, and all of them were just like, basically everyone in DFS and everyone in the fantasy world, all the professional gamblers, those were big fades.
Yeah.
So that was a gamble there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so talking about DK Metcalf, this game script wasn't really in favor of Seattle. Cincinnati was playing really great defense.
Yeah, they're
and
underrated defense there for them.
Geno Smith just could not get the ball out. The offensive line, and I say this with a heavy heart because I have been experiencing this for it feels like over a decade now. Seattle's offensive line has not been good. And so I was saying it earlier. Geno Smith, I forget who I was talking to about it, but Geno Smith doesn't look like he's been playing as well as he did last year. And for me, the reason being with that is, if you look at it, he's been a backup quarterback his entire career before last year. So there's a reason why he was a backup quarterback. He's still a good quarterback to begin with. I'll give him his credit, but it's showing that he's not.
He's got his limits for his ceiling.
He's got his limits. He's not. There's nothing that's going to push him into the top tier for sure.
No, I will say one more thing on Alex's roster here, which has looked like a really good payoff for the chance he took in the draft is Alvin Kamara. We were making fun of his first game back when he went 33 yards off of 14 targets and 13 receptions, which is pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at it, look at this. He has 8 targets today, 7 receptions, still 36 yards. But I mean, at this point, you're getting those receptions, 5 yards, those little check downs. And I think people underrate Derek Carr.
Mm-hmm.
I think Derek Carr is, pretty smart, pretty solid. He's not going to get you over the hump of anything, but he's going to be solid enough to kind of, keep the status quo if you have all the pieces around him already.
Yeah.
So really solid here for Alvin Kamara and that pickup there.
Yeah, I agree. Taking a look here at the benches. We were talking about this. Kyle Pitts, very surprising how Atlanta's been upping their passing game. So he's starting to get on the radar for me in terms of, depending on the matchup on every week, you might be able to play him, you might want to sit him.
That's I mean, he still gets the touchdown deodorant here. If he doesn't get that, it's only 6 points. So I mean, there's a huge difference when you don't get a touchdown.
Yep.
But at that point, pretty much everyone except for Travis Kelce, you're really just hoping for a touchdown. Anything else, and they're all the same. They regress to the mean.
Yep, exactly. So. And again, that's for tight ends, not necessarily for any other position.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that'll do it here. Congrats on the win, Shawn. Good luck next week, Alex. But we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.